The Undercountry Music News is an excerpt of the weekly internet broadcast Undercountry Music, which features music from great country artists you won't hear on mainstream radio, as well as a roundup of the most interesting country music news of the week without all the fluff. This program you're listening to right now contains only the news portion of the show. To listen and subscribe to the full weekly episode containing the music and interviews, please visit undercountrymusic.com or simply subscribe to the Undercountry Music Podcast on iTunes. Let's get into it. But right now, I want to get into a whole lot of another thing that we like to do over here, because it's time for the Undercountry Music News.
Oh, that's funny.
Have you listened to this show before?
Only a little bit on the podcast.
Okay, so you didn't make it to the news portion then, I take it.
No, I haven't, no.
I kind of knew that because you probably wouldn't be sitting with me here right now if you did. Because this is the part of the show that ends careers. You didn't know you'd waded into shark-infested waters, did you?
No, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
It's kind of like wackos in the news.
Well, the Undercountry Music News is a portion of the show that I do every week where I go on to Google and I type in the search term country music news. Novel concept, huh?
Yeah.
And then whatever comes up on the front page of Google, whatever websites come up, I go on to each and every one of those websites. And what I found doing this is that when I look for country music news, a lot of times I see a lot of press releases, a lot of just garbage, like, you know, Jason Aldean's favorite pair of socks, junk like that. You know, but I can almost always find one or two actual news stories that have some meat to them. You know,
yeah, there you go.
Just have a little bit of meat to them. And so I get just a news story here, and I pat it down. Get a news story over there, and I add it to the patty. And then, you know, before you know it, I've got a quarter pounder. And then I keep going through building my country music news burger. And after about 6 or 7 websites, you know, I got a half-pound burger here. And then before you know it, I've got a gargantuan 1-pound burger of country music news with pickles, onions, and sesame seed buns, damn it!
That's funny.
And I provide the cheese. So I compile them all from these different sources, and I bring the listeners of Undercountry Music just the essential country music news. And that's what we're about to get into right now. And I'm going to want you to sort of provide your feedback and your thoughts and your insights on this as we go through the week in country music news. Can you do that for me?
Okay, yeah, no problem, yeah.
Okay, now there is one dangerous aspect to the country music news that we do here in the Undercountry Music News, and that is that if I come across a website that's purporting to have country music news, but all they've got is Jason Aldean toe sock stories, I award one unfortunate website each and every week with the Undercountry Music News Wet Belch of the Week.
That's funny. You get one belch today.
That's right. I pass gas on my show almost every week. You know, it's not every week, though. So sometimes I don't think I belched last week. I don't think anybody got the wet belch. I think I found at least something on each and every website. So it's not always a certain. Some weeks I give out 2 belches. So, and some other weeks it's like a belch-a-lanch. But anyway, let's get into it here. Enough of this.
Okay.
Chit-chat. Okay.
Hit me with a big shot.
All right. Over at CMT, after just being named the best resident performer on the Best of Las Vegas list, on December 13th, this coming December 13th, after more than 110 shows at Caesar's Palace on the Vegas Strip, Shania Twain will close the door on her resident show, Shania's Still the One.
I'll tell you what, man, that's my girl.
She's got a postage stamp now, a Canadian postage stamp. You can actually lick the back of her head.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're self-adhesive these days, but still, I don't think that's going to stop some guys.
Yep, she's got great music. I love her music.
Now, apparently this show that she had on Vegas, and I didn't see it, it was an enormous spectacle. It included a flying motorcycle, multi-scent show projectors, which like smell-o-vision, and trained horses.
I knew she had the horses. I've seen the horses in some pictures before, but I didn't know she had all the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, smell-o-vision.
Only in Vegas.
They tried smell-o-vision in the 70s, and it didn't quite catch on.
Oh, can you imagine smell-o-vision for the horses?
No, yeah, I know. Now, the story does not state what Shania plans to do next, but now that she has a Canadian postage stamp, I guess anything's possible.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Over at Country Weekly, they've got a behind-the-scenes video all about the making of Florida Georgia Line's new song, Dirt. And you have to sit through not one, but 2 advertisements before you get to watch it. But it's still pretty neat. And I must say, the song, and I'm not the world's biggest Florida Georgia Line fan, but I got to tell you, this song of theirs, it's not half bad. Is
Sean Fuller playing drums on that issue, the bald-headed drummer?
They don't show the band in the video at all. It's just
okay.
The 2 guys. When they show the 2 guys, they're mostly standing in a barn while it storms outside.
Okay.
And then they've got actors playing the parts, and the song's called Dirt, and it shows like a chronological progression of someone's life in their relation to dirt, like as a kid. And, as a farmer, and the girl comes out to bring him a sandwich every day, and then they get married, and they roll around in the dirt on their wedding day, and then they have kids, and then at the end, you go back to the dirt, if you know what I mean.
Yep. That's cute.
Yeah, so...
Good concept.
Yeah, and they show like the interviews with the director and everything, and how they set up shots and things like that, and how they were dealing with the storm. They apparently, the day they chose to shoot, a huge storm broke out, and they had to grapple with that, which made production a little tougher. So, but anyway, that was pretty cool, and I gotta say, it was worth sitting through the 2 ads to get to it.
Okay.
I mean, I was highly annoyed by the time I got to it, but anyway. Over at GAC, Great American Country, they have a behind-the-scenes video of their own over there of Lucy Hale chronicling her Grand Ole Opry debut.
I've never heard of her. Now, who is it again?
Lucy Hale. I think she's from, if I'm not mistaken, I think she might be from the TV show Nashville or something.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I know her.
Yeah, and apparently this whole chronicling of her Grand Ole Opry debut starts from the time when she announces it on Twitter, and the whole leading up to it, and I guess the rehearsals and the backstage and all that stuff, and the nervousness and who she meets, and there you go. You can dig into it over there. I didn't actually watch it. I just saw the story, and I'm letting you know it's over there, so you can go check it out if you're into that. Anyway, over at Taste of Country, Randy Travis is set to release Volume 2 of his collection of cover song recordings entitled The Man I Am.
Is he releasing the hospital yet?
Oh, he's been out of the hospital for a while. He's like running around, going to concerts and things like that. He can't talk yet, though, so this was obviously recorded before his stroke and heart attack.
Back in the 80s, my old group opened for Randy. I think it was the World's Fair site. I'm not too sure. It was 84, 83. I can't remember, but we opened for him. Nice guy.
Did anybody get in fist fights with him?
Nope, not back then.
Now, here's what I don't get. The album is called The Man I Am, and he's not singing any songs that he wrote or that he's known for. Now, wouldn't you think that if you're going to open up to the world and let them know the man that you are, that you would present songs that come from you?
Yeah, seems like it would. Yeah.
I guess the album title would be a little silly if it was called The Men They Are.
I mean, if it's The Man I Am, I don't want to say nothing bad, but boy, that'd be a lot of some wild songs there, I guess.
Yeah, underwear sliding down the rain. Gutter.
The more I drink, the more I drink.
Also, over at Taste of Country, they are announcing that Garth Brooks will finally be releasing his entire catalog of music along with his new album digitally for the very first time. His music has not been available, at least legally, in digital format.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Ever.
Wow.
No, he's been a holdout this entire time. You have not been able to download any of his, at least not legally, this entire time. Here's the twist here. His music is only going to be available on the Garth Brooks official website.
Oh, boy.
Which means no deals with iTunes, Amazon, none of that. The only place you can get it legally is on the Garth Brooks website.
That's kind of a shame because there's iTunes and CD Baby and CD World, and there's so many places out there, SoundClick, Reverb Nation, Jamwave, Digital Rodeo. There's over 1,000 music and social networks out there. Can you imagine if you put them on all those networks and just got one a day from each one? It's $1,000 a day just from all those networks. I mean, that seems like I would not do that just for your own personal, pride, I guess. You got to turn in with times. I got rid of my rotodialer phone a long time ago in digital.
Experts are forecasting that Garth may beat Elvis Presley's record of 134 million digital downloads, which would be an amazing feat since he's going to be the one and only legal source for it. Garth is quoted as saying that he's going to make his entire catalog available at a quote-unquote stupid price, which means ridiculously cheap. So apparently you're going to be able just to go on there, plop down some really low amount, and just get it all. Apparently he thinks he's going to make a whole lot more money putting that offer out there than this sliver of a penny that he's going to get from iTunes and Amazon and all that. And it's going to be real interesting to see how this shakes out.
Well, plus he won't have to play his record label and probably anything either, so he'll probably keep all the profits himself.
Exactly. Now, finally, over at Taste of Country, a man who went missing from a Jason Aldean concert July 18th has been found dead in a Cleveland landfill. Police believe the man fell into a garbage chute after the concert, which then dropped him into a dumpster, which eventually made its way to the landfill because all the garbage around the guy's body was all from the concert. I guess, ticket stubs, junk.
Oh, wow. Yeah, all the pickup, yeah.
Have you ever had a dead body at one of your shows?
Maybe 5 on stage. No. I tell you what, we can only hear this news on your show. This is very informative, man. I didn't know this kind of stuff. This is good.
Yeah, well, see, well, you can get it all these places, but you'd have to go to all these places to get it, and that's what I do for you. So, okay, we got
let you do the work. Yeah,
we got a couple more places to check in with here. First, theboot.com. The only thing I found interesting at The Boot was a short interview with Rodney Crowell talking about being an artist versus seeking stardom, and how things have shifted since the early 70s when he was getting his start. Rodney's quoted as saying, "Songwriting in 1972 was less about making money and more about finding your voice, finding the poetry, and no thought to what the earning power of a given song was." He said, "We all assumed if we wrote a good song, the money would come in the mail, and it did. Whereas now, whatever you write has got to earn that money pretty quickly. If it doesn't, the shelf life of songwriting is very short." And he goes on to state that he had his 15 minutes of stardom, and it wasn't nearly as fulfilling as what he does now, which is to concentrate on the art of making great music. You're a songwriter and artist, and well, I don't know. Are you enjoying the art of making the music, or are you guys going for the stardom, or are you trying to do it all?
I like making people happy. And when you write a song, you make sure that every phrase is polished so you can keep them moving in someone's head. And if you got their audience listen to a song and picturing a video in their head, you've done your job. So I just like doing it. It's fun. And, oh, man, I'm getting paid for doing this. This is pretty easy. To me, I think it's fun. It's great. But I still like to be an artist, and I also like to play to make people happy. Plus, I get to enjoy myself. My office for tonight.
For those of you just joining us here on the talk show on the Undercountry Music News, I'm hanging out with Scott Bates. He is from the North Country Flyers. He's drums, vocalist, and manager, and he's nice enough to come and spend his time here on Undercountry Music and the Undercountry Music News. And we're going to let him tell you more about his band here after we get a couple more news stories here. Over at Nashville Gab this week, Chase Rice addresses criticism over his mixing of EDM, which is electronic digital music, with country. Now, have you heard much Chase Rice?
No, I haven't.
Pretty, techno kind of stuff he's mixing in with country. And I think the way he's blended the two is actually pretty cool. And I'd encourage you to go check it out. My only criticism is more about, he's got some pretty stupid cliche bro country lyrics. No, he's trying in the worst way to look exactly like every other factory molded country artist that's getting cranked out by the Nashville Crap Factory these days, and that would be my only criticism. Yeah. But I will say that the way he has blended those two styles is pretty neat, and I got to give him that. So how do you feel about artists like Colt Ford, who are like mixing rap with country, and people mixing electronics with country and things like that? I mean, it's really a divergent, even though it still has some country roots in it.
To be honest, I don't like it. I actually hate rap. I'm sorry. I call it crap. C with a apostrophe.
Country rap.
R-A-P. I really don't like it. If I wanted to hear rap, I'd turn a rap station on. I want to hear country music. I want to hear good stuff. It's almost like these guys are giving up and saying, okay, I can't write any more tunes because I ran out of ideas, so I'll just do rap. I don't really like it. I mean, I think today's mainstream is going rap. I've heard at least 5 songs so far on the mainstream country that is borderline rap. I go, oh no, please don't go this route. Please don't go this route. I've been trying to stay away from rap my whole life, and it's kind of sad. It's all these new and upcoming ones.
Yeah, well, I mean, all this new country that's coming out, I mean, all these songs, even the ones that, aren't doing like rap or electronic, but they're doing the mainstream country thing, they're all saying the exact same things. 5 overdone cliches that they just keep jamming in there over and over again, and it's just like, I just want to beat my head against the damn wall when I hear it.
I know it's about tractors and girls and tractors and more tractors.
The painted on jeans, she was hot and the beer was cold. I mean, come on, guys.
Even if they can't write their own material, there's thousands and thousands of songs in other catalogs and publishers. And they're really good material. There's a lot of good songs out there that these main artists need to listen to, because if they're complacent and stuck in a rut, the fans are going to find out about that, and they're going to say, I don't, this song sounds like the last song, or this song sounds like the last song. And so they need to break out of that rut and check out other publishers. There's tons of music out there. There's a lot of great songwriters.
I think they don't want to mess with the formula. The formula's generating revenue right now, and as long as it's generating revenue, they're going to just keep cranking it out. Over at the 615, which is a division of Billboard, there's a great interview with Bobby Bare reflecting on his induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame, his relationship with Johnny Cash, and how his first hit song was accidentally actually credited to another artist who didn't even know the song. That's not really news, but it was cool. And it's a good read, and that's about the only thing 615's got going over. And I'm going to spare them from the wet belch, because that was a pretty cool article they had over there in the news section.
So you give it 2 belches or 3 belches?
Yeah, we've got just 2 more outlets to check in with here, and nobody's got the belch yet. So let's see. Over at Country Standard Time, Blake Shelton sells out Wrigley Field. Tops out the capacity with more than 40,000 in attendance. Blake is only the 4th country star to ever headline Wrigley Field.
That's awesome.
In Chicago even. Yeah.
Our lead singer, TJ, he opened for Blake, and that guy is tall. I mean, he is really tall. He doesn't appear like that on TV, but man, he's a head above everybody else.
Now, that's odd, because normally you hear about a country star, or like a star, a celebrity, being unusually short when you meet them, and it's like they always look so much taller on TV. I've never actually heard of someone who looks normal on TV, but then you meet them and they're like towering.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's at least 6'5" or more. I mean, he's big. If people don't think, they don't. It doesn't look like that on TV. It's really weird. Exactly how tall he is, but PJ's about 5'8", 5'9". This guy was a good head and shoulders above him. I said, whoa.
Blake the Giant. Ho, ho, ho. All right, and rounding out our country music news here is nashville.com. I actually met a couple of guys today from nashville.com. Went over to a little networking event, and actually see if I can't get one of them on here on the show and just yap with them. They've got an article over there on the Nashville edition of the NAMM show, which is, for those of you who don't know, who aren't music equipment geeks, this is the big trade show for people who create, buy, and sell musical instruments. And the NAMM show in Nashville has come and went to and from the brand new Music City Center in downtown Nashville, and it's reported that it was wildly successful. And that's about the closest thing they got to damn news over there. But I'm not going to give them the belch because I just don't feel like belching today. I just had a salad, and it's one thing to belch a burger, but it's quite another to belch up leaves.
You're being too kind today.
Thank you. And this has been your Undercountry Music News. Okay, Scott from the North Country Flyers, tell the folks in talk show land who are not listening to the full-on show with the music and things, because there's certain talk show formats that don't allow us to have music, which is why we break this out on its own. Why don't you tell those folks what's coming up with the North Country Flyers and where people can find you and get your music?
Well, you can find us on northcountryflyers.com, Lyers. Plus up, I think we're on close to 3 million websites. You can find us on Reverb Nation, Jamway, SoundCloud, SoundClick, I mean, you name it. Twitter, Facebook. We're pretty much on every social network, and that's another thing I do all day long. Make sure I find another social network and I put us in there. And from there, it just spreads like a virus. That's called viral promotion.
Oh, yeah, your concerts.
But,
yes.
Well, you can find them on Country Flyers page. We have a tour section. You click on that. It's hard to keep up because I just booked another one today way up north in Harbor Springs. It's about 300-400 miles away, and they want us in the wintertime because of all the snow bunnies. They go skiing up there and snowmobiling, and we're doing a show up there for those guys. And it's just good stuff. I mean, we're playing a lot of fairs and festivals. I mean, it's just a great summer so far.
Well, great. We'll be on the lookout for the North Country Flyers because they might be flying through your town. Okay, we're going to say goodbye to the people in the talk show formats. By talk show format listeners, you want to hook up with the North Country Flyers, just go onto the show notes and a link to their site will be right there. All right.
Thank you for listening to the Undercountry Music News. The Undercountry Music News is just a small excerpt of the weekly hour-long internet broadcast Undercountry Music, where I, Neal Smith, not only round up the week in country music news and put my own spin on it, but I also play music and have great interviews by lesser-known original country acts, the kind that you won't hear on mainstream country radio. If you're thirsting for that, get on over to undercountrymusic.com where you can listen and subscribe. You can also subscribe via iTunes to Undercountry Music. Thanks so much. Stay under, stay country.